Hey guys, it is the real Spoofer Man with another video, and make sure to like and subscribe. I was gonna make a a joke segueing into this, um, but my girlfriend watches the channel, and the joke was not gonna be girlfriend friendly, so I'm not gonna make the joke. So we're just gonna keep segueing on. But today is a special video. We have not one Switch, but two. And I wanted to compare the two Switches to each other and really see what's the difference between the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED, and is it worth downgrading or upgrading in your opinion, whichever one you already have. Personally, the OLED was my first Nintendo Switch. Second, Nintendo Switch family system that was really my own, and I was able to customize, and it's nice. And then the Switch Lite is now my second Switch that I've personally purchased myself. This one has been disassembled, same with this one, either to just take a look on the inside, or like this one needed new thumbsticks, so this is that. Yeah, so let's just jump straight into it. So let's explain how I got both of these and kind of how much I paid roughly. So I have had two Switch OLEDs because I broke one, so I bought another tablet, just the tablet, and I had the Joy-Cons for around $200, which was not bad at the time. And this was a brand new tablet, and the other one was a brand new Switch as well. Joy-Cons are brand new, still locking everything. I've barely used them. They had this crack here from sitting for so long. But this Switch has literally almost never been used in handheld, unless I'm at a friend's house or something. 90% of the time, it's on the dock. I am going to start playing handheld more with the OLED because I like that bigger, vibrant screen. And also, I just think that it has a more rugged feel. It has more weight to it. I like the comfy feel of the Switch Lite. But the Switch OLED is going to always be my favorite for size comparison, just because the bigger, more vibrant, more colorful screen that just overhands it. I do really like the Switch OLED, and I've now had two of them, and they're just really nice. I do have a screen protector on this one because I did scratch the lamination of the screen, so not too good of a start, but it works. Battery life is insanely good on this, and I just overall have enjoyed my time with a $350 game handheld system with all of it. And yeah, so now we're also got this one. This one is a Switch Lite in yellow, and this is a refurbished housing. The other one is cracked. In the video I just posted before this one, you'll actually see there's a shell over there. This one I paid $170 for, so I paid a little under brand new. And it had some worn out thumbsticks. The shell was cracked, and overall just looked like it had been used. And I had not replaced the front of this because I didn't want to remove the digitizer and the lamination and everything. So I left the front part of it in because that was fine. It was just the back part, and I think it looks pretty good for what it did. Now, recently I've been playing the Switch Lite a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean I've played over maybe 70, 80 hours of Switch in the past 2 weeks, solely with the Switch Lite. Battery life is okay. Personally, for me, I'm almost always near an outlet, so battery life is not a concern. But especially when I go out, like I'm usually out, usually from like noon to 7, so like from the middle of the day almost, the afternoon to sunset. 90% of the time, I ride around a little bit, and I plug my board into charge so I can make it back to my house, and then I'll just sit and play this. And some more intensive games like Mario Kart 8, Tears of the Kingdom, Splatoon 3 tend to pull a lot of power, and I tend to only get around an hour and a half to 2 hours of battery life from a used Switch OLED, Switch Lite, which I could upgrade if I put a bigger battery in. But for something like this, it wouldn't be worth just putting a new battery in. It would probably be better to just use it until it stops working and then just start using my OLED. The whole reason I got the Switch Lite is because the size comparison of these, and also the fact that the Switch Lite I can drop in my bag, and this is so much lighter, and there's less mechanical parts on this that if they break, I have to replace it. If this breaks, like a button breaks, that's pretty much motherboard based. The only way that you could break a button would be this one, which that requires soldering, but everything else is all digital based, which is pretty nice except for the analog sticks. This is much easier to open as well. Preferably, I like it. So let's talk now. I'm just trying to fit this all into one video. Some of the features of the OLED that make it flagship Switch, and then the Switch Lite making it the handheld only friendly user system. So something with the Switch OLED that you get is obviously in the system the dock, the charger, the HDMI power cord. Oh yeah, I already said that. A set of Joy-Cons, a set of wrist straps, the console itself, and the manuals. So everything pretty standard. Now, when the Switch comes out of the box, this one, its speakers are loud. But you can see that vibrant screen. That's at full brightness with no auto brightness. That's it with auto brightness. And that's it at full 0% brightness. And the Switch OLED here really tries to fix everything with its predecessor to be the next successor of the Switch. Obviously, one of the most painful things of an original Nintendo Switch was the kickstand. They fixed that. We now have this beautiful metal sheet of kickstand here, which is very durable, stays in place. It's not going anywhere. Also, Joy-Cons are detachable, which means you can play like with motion controls, you can play with the side, you can play with two controllers, and it's really cool. The Switch OLED also features a new processor, which is allowing it to run the GPU a little bit faster. New GPU, by the way, not processor. And you can play on the dock, in handheld, or in tabletop, which is when you take the Joy-Cons off and use the kickstand. So this also gets you around 3 to 4 hours of battery life. I've exceeded that with around 8 hours to completely dead. We're not talking 100% to 15, talking 100% to like 2%. It holds up really well. Only thing I would change about it is maybe make the Joy-Cons more comfortable and make the Joy-Cons bigger, more expansive, and easier to use. But overall, they did everything really well, and I can't wait for the next Nintendo lineup. Yeah, that's all I got to say about Switch OLED. This used to be the thing I took with me when I was out riding my one wheel. But the reason I swapped to the Switch Lite is because if I was to break this is more expensive to replace than to just buy another Switch Lite or fix a part on the Switch Lite. So that's why I didn't upgrade from this, downgraded from this to this. This one, on the other hand, is a handheld only. There's no Joy-Cons to remove. It just comes with this and the charger in the box. 32 gigs of internal storage. This doubled the internal storage. This one, I think, total almost has around 700 gigabytes. This one only has around 315. So one thing I would change is put more storage on the Lite model than the OLED, because the Lite model I'll be traveling with. At some point they'll have the same amount of storage. It's just as of right now I didn't have enough money or time to get a bigger SD card or to find a bigger SD card. So honestly, I'm not too upset. This is full brightness on the Switch Lite screen. Obviously not as bright, and it does not have auto brightness. So it goes dimmer because it is a LCD panel. But it doesn't reach those perfect blacks. Like if we look at this, you can see there's some gray. On the OLED, that just looks so much richer and darker. You can also see like the the buttons are so hard to find on these things. The writing is also very black on the OLED, which is something I like about it. Both literally are the same system, just the sizes are completely absurd. Going from the Switch Lite to the Switch OLED is insane. Now, I will be running a timed test around next week after this video is posted. I will be running a timed test on the battery life of the Switch Lite compared to the Switch OLED sitting on the load screen for Mario Kart 8. I was going to play them, but I realized I'd have to run 2 separate time tests, and I would have to make time to sit the entire day and just run this test. So what I might even do is I might run the test, pause it when I stop using the Switch, and go back. It's all something that just takes time and you have to think about, but for me it's not a concern. I like to film videos, so it would be a fun project. Also, maybe throw this one into the mix and test all 3 and see which one really does have the best battery life and what's the best one for your money, considering these two are only $50 apart. The other one, on the other hand, it's $150 apart or $100 apart depending on which model you get, like which one you're comparing to getting. Overall, which one would I pick if I was to only be able to have one? It would be the Switch Lite. Though it misses Rumble, HD screens, and all that other stuff, and it overall just lacks a lot of stuff, I think this is just really nice to just put, like literally, put in your pocket and forget about it. Meanwhile, if I try to put the OLED in my pocket, I'm going to know it's there. There's a big difference. And it really is something to think about when you buy one of these systems, is do you have $70 basically every 3 months to replace a set of Joy-Cons? Or would you rather spend $170 and just have to replace the thumbsticks every once in a while? It really depends on your taste and your preference. I really think the colorful systems are really nice. Even though you can reshell the Joy-Cons in the Switch, I just think the full unibody shell is really nice. And it's something they did really well. I think if this had an OLED screen and cost a little more and had HD Rumble and they named it like the Switch Mini, I think that would have been better and would have gone over well. Switch Lite gets a lot of hate for it, but you know, nothing too bad. Yeah, so with that, honestly, Lite's my favorite. By far. The Lite is my favorite system. I'm pissed off I didn't get one sooner, and I've only had it for about 2 to 3 weeks. But for the 2 to 3 weeks I've had this system, I am absolutely loving it compared to my OLED. My OLED had a lot of problems in the beginning, especially with the first tablet just dying on me after doing a housing swap to fix the battery. I had removed the housing, and when I was assembling it, it cracked, and it pushed on a pin, and it killed the thing entirely. Switch OLED, though, is definitely something that's like, oh, you know, nice. Now, Switch Lite, on the other hand, is like, oh, I could throw you in my bag and forget that you fucking exist. So it really just depends on preference. But anyways, guys, that was that's my comparison of the Switches. I will be running a time test and making a part 2 to this. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Without that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching today. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Goodbye.